If you want to support our podcast financially, please visit patreon.com/IIMBSB. Also, email us with questions or ideas at ifimaypodcast@gmail.com.
In our first episode of the season, we talk about hopes and fears Dan and I have as we anticipate moving in together this fall.
We discuss why we're doing a book club segment on Esther Perel's Mating in Captivity.
And we dissect a bizarre post from the relationships subreddit. Welcome to If I May Be So Bold, a podcast about relationships.
The ones we have with others, the one we have with ourselves.
And given that Dan and I are a couple, you're going to be hearing about our relationship too.
I'm Dan Epstein, a recording artist, former opera singer, and relational coach.
I'm Justin Waring Crane, a therapist, recovering perfectionist, and karaoke star. Beyonce. What?
I want to read this thing that my friend Eames sent to a group chat, and it's on the Reddit thread relationship advice.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
It's called "My boyfriend won't stop calling me," in quotes, Tony Pizza.
The fuck?
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I, female 21, and my boyfriend, male 21, currently live together. This is relevant to us. And have been living together for about 4 months. To explain why we are living together at the 4-month mark, we started out as roommates, but then started dating. I have to say, my boyfriend has never been good at pet names. Some early ones were Little Stubster and Sour Meat.
What? What the fuck is going on?
Do we think he's being like
ironic?
Trying to be weird? Where it's like, these are so weird, like that.
Oh, good question.
Like, I'm not like other people. Like, the things that I would call you are like not like traditional,
okay.
you know, kind of like
I
ironic.
would lean yes on that, knowing nothing about this weird guy.
Okay. First of all, living together at 21, pretty young.
Sure.
One of my nicknames for him in comparison is Little Bird. Anyway, about 2 weeks ago, he starts calling me Tony Pizza. This doesn't even make sense, and he uses it more often than my actual name. He is obsessed. It honestly bothers me that he can't even bother to find a somewhat nice nickname for me. I have had a couple of conversations with him about it, but he says he just can't think of anything better. What do I do? Is this going to become a bigger problem, or should I even address it? I hate being Tony Pizza.
Oh my God. Okay, wait. This is coming from somebody who identifies as female.
Yeah.
Right? Listen, girl, let me just say right off the bat, you are not Tony Pizza. You clearly don't want to be called Tony Pizza.
Mm-hmm.
You're fucking not Tony Pizza. I don't like any of this.
Yeah.
It all just feels really weird to me. What I do feel happy about is that now that we're doing this, I want to do this as a segment.
Reddit
where
relationship advice thread.
We go to Reddit.
Yeah.
Type it in www. We go to Reddit.
Wait, which browser do you think we should use?
Chrome.
Okay, Chrome.
What if I was like Safari? Obviously, no. Safari's fine. Okay, never mind. But we go to Reddit relationships and we just we take one, we dissect it. Okay. So let me see if I understand the situation. This couple has been together for 4 months. Mm-hmm. Guy and a girl.
They started as roommates.
Seems like they immediately went into dating. There wasn't like we're roommates and now we want to start dating. So we're going to like move into our own places. Mm. We're just going to like now move in together in the place where we already live.
Yeah.
Now ostensibly sharing like a room and a bed. Mm-hmm. I don't know. We don't know that. Okay.
But it seems like he's giving her names that are really not cute, potentially as an avoidant thing.
Right.
Don't you think they're like not affectionate?
I think this guy actually hates her.
Oh.
because he's not being cute, and he clearly knows he's not being cute. And I don't think he wants to be cute, because I don't think he wants to be close to this person. So I do think he's giving these weird ass nicknames as a way of distancing.
Sour meat.
Like, what the fuck is that? Like, that person actually hates you. I don't think it's like them just trying to be like funny and ironic, because it's like the girl, not going to call her Tony Pizza. The girly does not find this funny or endearing. Right. It would be one thing if she's like, yeah, it's weird, but it's also like pretty funny.
And like, if there was a thread of like, he is seeing me somehow, and these nicknames have some, even though they're weird, have some
literally nothing. It's not coming.
Like, it seems like very random.
Yeah, it's not coming out of anywhere. And it's like, yeah, I cringe because I'm reading into it that this guy is like, aren't I so random? And like so quirky that it's like, this doesn't even make sense. And like, my humor is absurd.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm reading into it. Okay. But yeah, I think my advice would be to level with this person and act like an adult. You know, even though you're only 21, you're actually more of an adult than this person. I mean, just like brain development wise, period. Right. So you can be the adult in the room if that's what you would like to do, and say, hey, like, I really don't like these nicknames. I think I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt and say, I think you are trying to at least be funny or, you know, connect over some kind of like silly pet name, but it doesn't feel endearing to me. I don't feel cared for. In fact, I really like don't like being called this, and I really want you to stop. You know, because that's all you really have to say, because if he's like, his response to that is going to tell you everything you need to know. Because if he's like, you're making a big deal out of nothing. Yeah. Break up. If he's like,
I was thinking about that one. I was thinking about a lot of men and how I probably was when I was younger, of like, when someone would be offended or like have an emotional response to something like that from me, I would kind of be like, wait, what? Like, I'm just me, like, being weird, you know, like it was like surprising to me that like something that was like lighthearted like that would actually have any kind of imprint. Cause it's like, cause I didn't love myself at all. And like, you know, I think it's easy to sort of deflect and be like, well, like, I'm a piece of shit. Like, what does it matter what I do? You know? And it's like that the idea that like something like that actually matters, and like that the words that you're choosing to refer to your partner as like actually have importance and meaning. Like, there's actually like meaning behind the psychology of why you're doing that. Well, I had no language for that.
Sure. So there's different ways that he could respond if you choose to confront him about this more directly. Did she confront him about this at all yet? Was that in the
she said, hold on, let me get back. She said, I have had a couple of conversations with him about it, but he says he can't think of anything better. Okay.
Well, so first of all, I'm wondering how she's approached those conversations and what her, I'm not saying this is her fault at all. I'm just wondering what she's said. Yeah. If she's point blank been like, I want you to stop, and I really don't like this, right? Not putting it on her like, this guy's trash, clearly. But if he already was not able to, if your request was, please stop doing this, and he's not able to honor that, and in fact continues to do the thing that you have said you don't like, this person does not care about you, does not care about your feelings, period. That feels very clear to me. If you want to continue to try to work on this with him, which is your choice, and say, look, this is like, I've really had enough of this, and you say you can't think of anything better, I don't believe you, because I think you're a creative, smart, whatever. is if this person is creative and smart, they can anybody with half of a brain can think of like something better than sour meat, Tony pizza, and Stubster.
Yeah, I was wondering, did she like stub her toe and he called her Little Stubster?
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter because it's just like, it's like it's not cute. It's not hot. This guy is showing his ass by doing this because he's showing you that he doesn't actually really care for you. There could be a positive outcome if you do decide to say, hey, this is actually like, I've asked you to stop and you haven't. So that's actually shows me you don't care. And this is a deal breaker for me. So we're done here. You know, my guess would be that he's like, fine, like you're a fucking bitch anyway. Or like, whatever, like you're acting crazy.
You don't get me.
Like, I don't want this, but you're breaking up with me. So like, I guess we're breaking up. That would be my that would be what I predict. But I also just want to say I'm sorry because that's a shitty situation to be in, and to be 21 is, I'm not saying you're so young, but like it's just hard at that age because you're more mature and smarter than any guy that you're going to interact with. And that leaves you in this position of having to stand up for yourself more and make the decisions that the other person does not have the capacity or the wherewithal to make. So
yeah, I don't think it's going to end great.
No, but I'm sending this person a lot of love, and I hope that her boyfriend dies tragically and painfully. Little Bird. What did he do to earn that nickname? I want to know. Like, it sounds like he did something really cute, or like he's cute like a little bird. But like, my question also is like, did he earn that nickname, and what? And if he did, like how? So that's my cue.
Nice. Ask me first.
Okay, so Dan, congratulations.
I haven't lived with anyone since 2014.
Didn't ask, but no, that's a good context. So the last time you lived with a significant other was 2014.
That was the end, yeah.
So that was, we still had Obama.
Yep.
Okay,
wrapping up Obama for a while.
Wrapping up Obama.
And I had been living with that person since right before Obama.
Wow.
No, that's not true. We were together, but we were together when Obama took office in 2008.
Not a coincidence.
And then we moved in together like shortly thereafter.
Okay. So that was your ex, Anna, who you might remember from season 1, episode 10. Okay, so it's been a while since you have lived with a partner. It's been a really long time for me because I never have.
Past life. Past life.
Yeah, we don't count like staying with a partner for like, I stayed with my ex for like 2 months when I was looking for a place. That's not the same. Okay, we didn't choose to move in together, and he didn't want me to be there. So cool. Yeah. So, what are you excited about? What are you dreaming up about this next chapter?
Yeah. I'm excited about the fact that you and I are very in sync about like wanting to keep balance and to keep like to not merge. You know, I'm excited for what that can look like, where we have like a home base where you know, we're having these interactions that we wouldn't have otherwise, and like we're able to connect at times when it's not like, okay, it's this planned thing where you're staying here for this amount, you know?
Right.
It's just different. And I'm excited to just see what that looks like. And I'm excited for you to be able to like have a comfortable space where you can host people. And where I can participate sometimes and not participate other times.
Yeah. I'm excited for that as well.
Yeah. And I'm really excited for you to be a collaborator with me in like making the space like a peaceful, like homey thing for us both, for you to help.
I'm really excited.
I said that. I said collaboration. I got panicked for a second that I was like that it was a thing where I'm saying, you come make this nice for me or something,
Okay.
But I didn't say that.
Right. You didn't say that. And that's also not what you're wanting.
No.
So, yeah, I'm also really excited to come in and do some nesting, make the house feel very, very cozy and inviting. And it's just something I love to do. I love decorating. I love like rearranging furniture. Yeah. And I want it to be a space where like people just can relax when they come in.
Mm-hmm.
Friends come over and they just feel like it's like an exhale when they walk in the door. So I'm excited to make that together. And I'm excited to be like, I want to have a reputation.
Okay.
I want to have a reputation where people are like, oh, we're going over to Dan and Justin's. We're so excited,
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to learn more about you, like things that I don't know about you, and for you to learn about me, things you don't know. That's like the excitement and the fear too, right? Of like, what's gonna be unveiled. But I think you know me pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
But there's always things that, surprise you, hopefully. If there's not, then there's a problem. So yeah. And exactly what you said about what are you worried about or what are you kind of afraid of? I have that same fear of merging.
Yeah.
Not differentiating, being so glommed onto each other that then romance disappears and we become like this blob.
Right. What's the blob?
The blob is us like as one.
We're the blob.
Not Dan and Justin. It's like Dan, Justin.
Right.
Like Benefit or whatever. It's like no separation, no tension. So that is going to be something that I think there'll be a lot of trial and error and negotiating and figuring out like what works.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is like, we won't have that sense of, okay, like you're here, but you're going back home because it's Sunday.
It's like, I'm here afternoon. And I am home. This is my home.
So we will lose that.
Yeah.
And that's a thing. That's like, that is something.
Right. I don't want to take each other for granted. Like
that is a scary one.
Oof.
That's a really scary one.
Oof.
I mean, yeah. I think, the thing about being on your own for me was like, it was so uncomfortable, especially at first, because I had never spent time on my own when I first split with my ex and I was like on my own. And it's something I wouldn't have chosen, but it makes you do a lot of stuff that's really good. Like it makes you think about how you want to spend your time. It makes you kind of like go through shit on your own. And just all you have is yourself. And so this is the other side of the coin from that. So how do you still have those types of experiences or still connect to yourself and not fall into defining your experience through all mirroring all the time?
Right. What are we doing today? Yeah.
And like sort of relying on someone to reflect back to you how you are in the world, how you're moving through the world.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah.
It's pretty open-ended question.
Okay. So yeah. If you guys have any advice for us, I would love to hear.
Well, I think before that,
Oh,
can
okay. Yeah.
I just ask, like, what do you think is going to be the hardest part?
The hardest part. What am I anticipating is going to be the hardest part?
Yeah.
About
like in the next couple of years,
moving in together and living together the next couple of years. I think it's that. I think it's going to be keeping a sense of excitement and mystery and remembering to date each other and not fall into these patterns of like, let's just stay home and like, you know, watch TV, which is like, I love to do that. So it's really easy for me to be like, let's just do that. And like, and then it becomes very, habitual. That's when we fall into these routines where it's like, becomes like very desexualized, I think, where it's like, just seeing the other person as like this, you know, this I don't know, like source of like stability and comfort, but also it's like kind of dehumanizing. It's, I don't know, it's like this person is meeting these needs for me and I forget that they're their own person. I just...
What are you scared of me doing?
I'm scared of you, I think, not chasing like your own healing in like a really motivated way. Where I'm the one who's like, how's that going? And are you going to go to that therapy? Or, you know, how are you working on this? Like, I'm scared of that not being driven by you. And I think that's the scariest thing.
Yeah, that's a good answer. Not that we're grading the answers.
Thank you.
I'm scared of this thing you do where you're a Virgo rising. And that shows up sometimes, I think, where you have this idealized, romanticized version of how your life should be. And sometimes it can really trigger you, I think, when you're looking at that and then you're critiquing how things are actually going.
Yeah.
And then it's hard for me to communicate with you about it because it's not so much about what's really in front of us, because we're also dealing with that, like this like idea of how you should be and how your life should be.
So then it becomes hard to see the relationship for what it is because it's... Can you say that a different way?
Well, I feel like in those moments when it's happened in the past where you're sort of in an intrusive thought around like, you know, like I know like in the past, like I really wanted things to be like this. And like, I'm worried they're not like this. It's confusing as your partner. 'Cause it's like, I'm interacting with you and I'm interacting with this romanticized idea.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah. Right. And it's kind of like, I'm comparing the relationship that we have to this fake relationship that is a fantasy. And then it's like, well, the relationship that we have is actually better than that because it's real and the fantasy world doesn't exist. But in my mind, I'm like chasing the fantasy where it's like everything should be perfect and effortless, spontaneous. And it looks a very certain kind of way where it's like, we'll have a kid or get married and, you know, it's going to be like this, like, you know, very aesthetically pleasing, picture of a family that's like been sold to me. I mean, you know, it's just like in my mind, it's like, and that's the right way to do things. Yeah. 'Cause that's what I grew up, you know, hearing and being taught. So in my mind, I'm like, oh no, like what if we move in together and we break up, and it doesn't work out, like, oh no, so then like operating from a place of like, this has to work out. And thinking like, oh no, like what if we get married or what if we have a kid and then we break up? Like that would be horrible, as if like nobody's ever recovered from that, or I had an even better life because of that, So I struggle to remember that there's so many different ways your life can look, and there's no formula. And if you get caught up trying to live out the formula, you will fuck yourself over. Big time, baby. Should we move on to talking about how we're going to be doing a book club this season?
Yeah, so we're kind of looking at this season as, this is like phase 2, right? Season 2. We've decided this thing that we're going to like try living together. And so our guests this season will all tie into that process and asking people with expertise or with particular stories to sort of process this thing that we're trying to do. And one of the things we're doing, which we also teased, is Justin decided this and asked me if I would read Esther Perel's Mating in Captivity with her as like to have a common language around some of the things we anticipate being challenges and being important. So maybe because it's your thing, why don't you talk about why this book is a helpful resource, you think?
Yeah. Well, first of all, if this hasn't been clear during the last episodes or during the previous season, I think Esther Perel for me is my favorite celebrity, period. She's my favorite therapist. She's my favorite public figure. And that's because her work has completely changed my worldview. And through that, it's changed the way I approach relationships in my life. So, if, and people ask you questions like, if you could have lunch with anyone alive or dead, it's her. For me, that's her. Except if I ever were to meet her or talk with her, I just would be stricken. I would be not able to move, not able to blink. So I like fear that. I would fear meeting her, and also, am dying to meet her. So all that to say, this book, Mating in Captivity, I read it for the first time in 2017, and I honestly don't remember that much about it. Like, it was world shifting. Don't remember a thing, but it's weird because it's like those things have become absorbed into the way that I think and see the world. So it's hard to know what those things from the book were. I don't know if I'm making sense.
I think it would be helpful to tease it a little bit, because like I feel like right now it's just like a vague, sort of very like vaguely just like very good thing. So I can help with that. Okay. Because I did start reading the first chapter. Okay. And we will be starting to read, like, to really go in depth and discuss in September. So if you guys are interested in reading this book, it's amazing. And it might be cool to follow along with us, because we won't be talking about it every week, but we will be checking in about these ideas that the book is presenting, how they kind of interface with our own life and relationship, and how they could be useful or challenging for us. But she presents the book as this thing, the work she does with couples, and there being sort of these two extremes of couples, where one of the extremes is that couples who are more romantic about the idea of having passion and are sort of like, it's not worth it to me to have a relationship where I'm in this one relationship over time and the like passion and intensity and excitement diminishes, and I'm not willing to sacrifice not having passion and like lust and excitement in my life. And then there's the other extreme, which is kind of like, well, yeah, like that's how it is. Like over time, you kind of, it's like important to accept that passion and excitement and tension does diminish. And ultimately you learn that that's not as important as companionship and like building this container together of having a life and like a family potentially. So she in the book asked the question, is that really true? Because both sides are agreeing that this passion does diminish over time. And she's challenging that and saying, are there actually ways to keep that?
Yeah. So I mean, we're choosing this book because we're going to be having a lot more physical closeness in the sense that we're moving in together. But sometimes physical closeness can spell disaster for eroticism and desire, because desire needs a space. Desire needs a bridge to cross, as Esther so poetically says. So if there's no space, if there's no separation, desire dies, because you can't want what's you're smashed up against, right? Mm-hmm. If you're touching, you can't want that person, because if you're touching constantly, if you're glued together, you can't want each other, because you already have each other. So she explores in the book how love and desire are actually at odds with each other, but how you can use that paradox to make your relationship very alive and passionate. So, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a wild ride. And that's our show. Thanks for joining us. Our music is by Nightlight. We self-produce this podcast, so please subscribe, rate, and review. It really helps.